Posting an ad to freerentalsite.com is quick and easy, and we're going to walk you through that process today. Now, posting an ad is broken into a few basic sections and only requires you to enter some of the most important information of that property. Now, we're going to get into in some other video series how to add additional information to your property, such as utilities and upload photos and add some extra information, but for today we're just going to talk about how to initially create the property. Now, let's start at the top where you can see section number 1, which is contact information. And contact information is very important because this is how we tell the tenants and people searching freerentalsite.com and some of our other syndication partners how to contact you if they're interested in the property. Now, obviously email is going to be used if someone tries to contact you through an email form, but we are never going to display that email address anywhere at all. Now, obviously you can put your name in here if you want, but if you're representing a company and don't want your personal name on there, you can leave that blank and just enter your company's name. You'll see we're using ABC Property Management as an example. Now, the phone number is what's going to appear on the listing and allow people to contact you via phone. So make sure this information's on there because it's very important. The next section is the ad details, and this is your ad title, or more or less your headline of the listing. So put something exciting that's going to capture someone's attention. Next, we have the description, and this is where you're going to be a little bit more verbose about the property and talk about some of the features of the property. The next section, number 3, is property address. Property address is important because this allows us to locate it on the map and also help people find it as they do searches geographically. So obviously I'm going to type in an address in southern Florida that I know as an example here. And as you start typing in the city, you'll notice that Free Rental Site is going to automatically suggest a city. And in this case, Estero is the one that I wanted. I'm going to select that, and you'll notice that it automatically populated my state drop-down for me. Next, I'm going to put in my zip code. And if you want to, you can also include the county, but it's not required. Now, last but not least, we have property details, and this is where you get to talk about what type of property it is, how much it costs to rent, and how many beds and baths there are in that property. The first thing I want to do is select that this is a single-family home. And one thing I do want to talk about before we continue is this multi-unit listing option. Now, the multi-unit listing is really intended for apartment complexes or a multi-unit complex. And if selected, you'll notice that we get an extra box next to rent amount, beds, baths, and size and deposit. And what this is doing is it's allowing you to enter a range if necessary. Or if applicable to that property. In our case, we have a single family home and it's going to be $1,500 per month, so we're not going to check that option. So in this case, I'm going to put $1,500, and you'll notice that there is a drop down that allows you to change the frequency of the rent. And in our case, it's going to be an amount per month, so that's $1,500 per month. Next, I'm going to select my bedrooms. It's a 3-bedroom, and it happens to be a 2-bathroom. So you'll notice I'm just going down the list, selecting and filling out the information pertaining to this property. The size happens to be 1,500 square feet, and the deposit also happens to be $1,500. Now, once you've completed this information, next you just have to click the I have read and agree to your terms of service and continue to step 2, which is confirming the address. Now that we're on the confirm address page, all we're trying to do is verify that the address that we've typed in can be found on the map. And so over here on the right hand side, I'm simply going to review the map and make sure that the address that I typed in and that we looked up is in the correct location on the map. And so in this case, it actually is the correct address, and I'm going to verify over here that everything looks good. And all we're doing here is that if you accidentally typed in the wrong address or the wrong zip code or something of that nature, the system is going to try and locate the proper address and correct it for you, and also look up the correct latitude and longitude, which makes it easy for tenants to locate it on our search experience and on your website search. So if everything looks good, which it does to me, simply click Create Ad, and our ad is now ready to go. Now, you'll notice that there is no image and it is missing some additional information. Now, we're going to cover some of that in a later video, but for today, our ad is now live and we're good to go.